The revolution on April 25th brought more openness on religion matters. Why? The Catholic Church was no longer the only religion. We began noticing other faiths around us.
The first mission president in Portugal was President William Bangerter, and the first missionaries arrived from the USA and from Brazil. They were transferred from Brazil to start preaching the gospel.
I met the church through some uncles who immigrated to Brazil when they were very young. But as soon as the church came to Portugal, they invited us to attend the meetings at the Hotel Roma, and we took the whole family. And the funny thing was that all the women believed and were baptized.
Praying was one of the biggest differences that entered our home. We began to pray, which was something we didn't know how, neither out loud nor in silence. I know that the gospel came at just the right time when we needed to receive that direction for our lives as we entered our adolescence. I can now see how that affected our home and the choices we made in life.
What touched me the most as I think back was the fact that this experience involved the whole family. No one has ever said, I don't want to talk to them. Never. We were all there,
eager for knowledge,
waiting for the missionaries to come. And I remember saying to Denise and Paula many times, what do you think they will teach us today?
The missionaries invited us to go to church, and my brother and I decided to go. The impression I had about the church, the impression that stayed with me the longest, was the tremendous happiness that the people felt just for being there, for sharing things, for listening. And especially because I realized that people were saying things that were good.
I remember the first time we went to church and soon realized we were part of a family that welcomed us with open arms, and that spirit remained for many years. And whenever a new branch was created within the church, some of the families would go and help with the growth of the church in that area. This can only be done when there's a spirit of commitment.
We recognize, Father, that from this land went navigators and seafaring men in days of yore, and that the Portuguese people have had an adventurous spirit as they trusted in Thee, as they looked for lands unknown. Grant that they may trust in Thee as they now search for those truths that will lead them to life eternal.
The spirit that we as young people experienced in those first years was very strong, and we were very enthusiastic for the church and for the activities. I remember it very well because to get to the church, to the Hotel Roma, and afterwards to the meeting house in São Domingos, Lapa, we had to travel for an hour or an hour and a half. Because we didn't have much money, we had to walk parts of the journey. But every step was taken with a great joy, usually in groups. So these were challenging times, times of sacrifice, and also joyful times, for we did it all with great pleasure and satisfaction, and this was very important for us.
At that time, it wasn't the transport or the distance that would limit us. It was our own will.
Seminary, my seminary teachers, and the young people with whom I had the opportunity to share lessons really left a mark on me. It was an amazing time of my life which I will never forget and will always treasure.
The church calling helped me to stay strong in the church because the way I see it, no matter what the calling was, I always felt God's hand on me. But perhaps the one that had the most impact on me was a patriarch calling. Any blessing is given by the power of the priesthood, but the patriarchal blessing is given through the priesthood, but is received directly from Heavenly Father. I know beyond any doubt that this church was founded by Jesus Christ, that it was restored by the prophet Joseph Smith, and is directed today by a living prophet, Thomas S. Monson.
This morning, I am pleased to announce 5 additional temples for which sites are being acquired and which in coming months and years will be built in the following locations: Lisbon, Portugal.
The construction of a temple in Portugal will be very important, not only to the members, but it's also my belief that it will lead more people to take an interest in the church. We all have the ambition in life to be happy. And that search for happiness often involves us knowing where we came from, what are we to do, what is our purpose in life. And the church has the answers to these questions.
I am confident that the gospel will continue to progress here in Portugal.
The gospel is true, there is no doubt. And with the foundations that were built, we certainly have all that we need to move forward and continue to improve.
We have witnessed the growth of the church since the beginning, since there were only 30 or 40 members, and now we have thousands of members across the country with chapels in every city. Our feeling is exactly that the church will continue to grow, and in 40 years from now, those who are still here will look back and will realize that the growth was absolutely fantastic, similar to the last 40 years.
My vision is that Portugal will be filled with stakes. A few years ago, that seemed very difficult to achieve and a very slow process. But today, my belief, my vision is that this will soon come to pass.